Let's take a look at Lagarde's legacy now with Alexandre Kateb. He's a chief economist with the TEL Group in Paris. And in Athens, the former Greek ambassador to Canada, Leonidas Chrysanth-opoulos. Mr. Chrysanthopoulos, if I could start with you, please. Lagarde is surely your best friend amongst the big international lenders. For a couple of years now, she has been arguing that Greece needs debt forgiveness.
It has not been a couple of years. It has been recently that the IMF mentioned this. Actually,
2014, 2015.
1 year that. Yeah. It's recently that they have been doing that. But I would like to raise another issue, the issue of what the IMF is. The IMF is a specialized agency of the United Nations. And as a specialized agency of the United Nations, first of all, it is under the direct jurisdiction of the Secretary General of the United Nations, which today is Ban Ki-moon. And also, this specialized agency of the United Nations is obliged to respect the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and all the human rights treaties that the United Nations has signed and is holding. But this is not happening. We have serious violations of human rights in Greece because of the austerity measures, the right to work, the right of human dignity, the right to education, the right to welfare, social security. They have all been violated and has not been mentioned by me also. It has been mentioned by two reports of the United Nations special representatives on the austerity measures, and the most recent report was last February, that was submitted to the United Nations Human Rights Council, where it says that the IMF should exactly take care that the human rights are not violated in the implementation of the austerity measures.
To Alexandre Kateb now, an economist in Paris there. What do you make of that remark that the IMF and Christine Lagarde have run roughshod over human rights in Greece?
Well, thank you very much. Honestly, I don't think that the human rights question is the main concern and should be the main concern of institutions such as the IMF. The IMF has been established post Second World War to help countries that were struggling with their current account deficit to refinance themselves. Then its role evolved to help developing countries that faced debt refinancing problems.
Okay, and do you think the IMF has done a good job in the case of Greece?
Yeah, I think the IMF has not such a bad job when you think that actually it has opposed the orthodoxy of countries like Germany and others that did not want to restructure the debt Greek, whereas the IMF is pushing for more restructuring of this debt, actually.
Okay, Mr. Chrysanthopoulos in Athens, Alexis Tsipras. I beg your pardon. Alexis Tsipras is saying that the Greek economy is entering a completely new phase. After a very long time, there is a period of stability and recovery. Isn't some of that down to the IMF's guidance?
He's not telling the truth. The Greek economy is heading towards even worse disaster. And I would also like to add that while the IMF is supporting debt restructuring, it's also supporting at the same time for more austerity measures, and these measures are the ones that have destroyed Greece.
Okay, let me ask you for a final thought, both of you. Mr. Chrysanthopoulos first. On Brexit, do you think that the IMF should have some sort of role in trying to mitigate what has happened in the United Kingdom?
I don't think it's the business of the IMF to do that. I think that the respect of the majority of the people of the United Kingdom should be taken into consideration, and let's go on with Article 50 of the Lisbon Agreement.
Okay, Alexandre Kateb, Lagarde is saying things in the United Kingdom and European Union should be moved on quickly to avoid uncertainty. Do you agree with her?
I think she's right, because what investors fear most is uncertainty. So we have to get past this uncertainty and to find a solution that would suit both Britain and the European Union, and it would mitigate the impact that it could have on global markets and on the global economy.
Alexandre Kateb and Leonidas Chrysanth-opoulos, thank you very much for your analysis.